nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeats. Riding down the trail under a big blue sky and pine trees. Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeats.
We're with Officer John Hood and Officer Zeus, and they are part of the Raleigh Mounted Patrol Unit. So John, tell us a little bit about Zeus.
Zeus is a 6-year-old premium draft. He was donated from a lady in Garner, North Carolina. He is crossed with Percheron and quarter horse.
Okay. And how long have you had him?
I've had him we've had him, I say, a year and a couple months now. A year and a half. He's turned into a great police horse. He stands 18 hands tall, weighs about 2,000 pounds, and he's very smart horse. He's responsive. He does what I ask, and he's a quick learner. So he's been able to stay.
All right, and you've been on the force as a mounted officer for a long time now. How long have you been part of this?
Been on the mounted unit for just a little over 10 years now, and I definitely enjoy it. Wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Were you a horseman before this?
I was. I kind of grew up on a farm with my grandfather. I was put with a lot in the summer times, and then moved there eventually and lived there for a long time, and then went to college and worked at the riding stables for 4 years. Helped me put through school, and from there, after I got out, came to Raleigh because they still had a mounted unit.
Right.
And eventually I was able to get an opportunity to try out and get on.
This is Officer Sharon and Willow. Can you tell us a little bit about Willow?
Yes, Willow is a 7-year-old full-bred Percheron, and she was donated from a lady in Sumter, South Carolina. And we've had her for about a year and a half, about the same time as Officer Zeus, and she's been great. She's got a great personality. She loves to please. She loves to do a good job.
And were you a horsewoman before you came to the mounted unit?
I had experience prior to the mounted unit. I always had a passion for, horses, but I never really had an opportunity to ride horses until later in life.
Right.
And so I started riding when I came on to the police department just for pleasure, and then I had an opportunity to actually try out for the unit, and did.
Very nice, very nice. Willow, you're a beautiful woman. Yes, you are. Now this is Officer Major and Officer Bird. And Officer Bird, tell us about Major.
Major's a paint draft cross. He's 9 years old now. He was 7 when we got him. We've had him almost about 2 years. He was donated from a lady in Virginia. Went to check him out, and he was just exactly what we were looking for. He's actually one of the second draft horses that we had, and we just loved his demeanor. He's got the size, but he's still athletic enough to have a lot of agility. He's really fun to ride.
Right.
And he's a big baby. Really, everybody loves his mentality, his attitude. He draws people to him. He just says, hug me.
Right, he does. There's definitely says hug me. And were you a horseman before the mounted unit?
Yes, ma'am. I was lucky enough to grow up around horses.
Yes.
Had horses my whole life. The only time I wasn't when I was in the military, and then I started rodeoing just so I could be around horses. And as soon as I got out of the military, I got right back into it, and that's one of the reasons I applied for Raleigh, is because they had a mounted unit.
And how long have you been part of the mounted unit?
4 years now, a little over 4 years.
All right. You're really, really sweet, Major, without a doubt. And this beautiful big buckskin, Officer Ike. That's a cool name, Officer Ike. And Officer Sinclair,
Yes, ma'am.
how long have you guys had Ike?
Ike has been with Raleigh for just over 4 years.
And where did Ike come from?
Ike was donated also, and he is Hanoverian.
Right?
So,
Yeah, he's got a little different look to his. He's a little bit more fine-boned and refined than the draft horses, so he's a little different look there. Certainly intimidating presence. How tall does he stand?
he is just over 18 now.
Right. And did you have horse experience prior to coming here?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your experience?
I had rode horses and owned horses in years past,
Right?
and had kind of got away from horses and had the opportunity to come to the mounted unit, and I really enjoyed it.
How long have you been part of the mounted unit?
I'm the newest member, and I have been almost a year
Okay.
with the mounted unit.
All right.
Got over 20 years experience in law enforcement,
Yeah.
but just a year with the mounted unit.
We're here in Pullen Park in Raleigh, and one of the places the officers patrol is here at the park. And as you can see, there are a lot of people here today with their kids. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to make all the parents feel safe with their kids here in the park. Tell us a little bit about what you do here.
Well, here at Pullen Park, we usually try to patrol here every week, and we get here enough times that the kids look for us when we get here, and we patrol around, make sure they feel safe, and make sure there's nothing going on here that shouldn't be going on. And so we make sure that when we patrol that we also give the kids an opportunity to come up and pet the horses, and we talk with them, interact with them, let them see that there's a positive aspect to police officers, and our horse here is that icebreaker too. So some of the kids that never seen a police officer or met us, we get them to come pet the horse, we talk to them, and they realize that police officers are good as well. And
Absolutely.
it's a good positive influence that we have in our youth.
It's a great opportunity too for a lot of kids that would never have an opportunity to pet a horse
That's right.
to really see what wonderful creatures that they are, and they serve us in so many ways. That's awesome. So what other parks do you patrol here in Raleigh?
Well, Pullen here is one. We also patrol all the lakes in Raleigh. There's Shelley Lake, Lakeland, Lake Johnson.
Yes, sweetie.
We also patrol trying to think of some other lakes here. We've got the Umstead Park as well, and
It's fun.
also all the downtown parks as well.
Okay, very
And
nice.
the greenways, and throughout the city there's a lot of greenway trails. We patrol those as well. We usually 4 of us total. We patrol in pairs, and sometimes we split up as well to cover some more ground depending on what we're doing.
And what kind of crimes would you stop here in this park, for
Here in
instance?
this park, so it's mostly family. So again, when we come here, we're looking for anything that's illegal. Now, most activities here are more or less maybe some aggressive beggars from some picnickers or something like that. Some of the homeless
Right.
population that might be out here. Maybe some drug violations, very minor things
Right.
like that. But no, that's pretty much it that we see out here that we've dealt with. But maybe some suspicious activity calls or something like that.
Right. Well, just your presence here, I'm sure, deters an awful lot of things from going on that might go on here otherwise. I know cities like Durham have had a lot of problems with their parks, and I wouldn't feel safe there, but I've always felt really safe here, and part of that's because you guys are on patrol.
Yeah, and again with the horses, we patrolling on horseback, we move a lot slower than officers do in cars, and we can stay in a specific area a lot longer. So again, our presence alone does deter a lot of crime, and again, the people love seeing us out here as well.
Right. I'm sure that it's a great PR thing for the police department to have you guys as a unit, because everybody loves horses.
That's right.
I mean, whether you own them or not, almost everybody in the world loves one and wishes they had one.
That's right. Even the people that are, let's say, they're afraid of horses, they still like looking at them, so they'll watch from a distance.
That's right.
And we do basically have a big presence too. So again, we deter a lot of things.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for all the good work that you guys do. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the citizens here do too.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we have Officer Sinclair and Officer Ike. And Ike, if you remember, is a Hanoverian. So he's a little different horse-style body than the other horses. He's big and he's intimidating. And Officer Bird was telling me that Ike had the ability to see somebody in a bush that you guys might have missed.
Yes, ma'am. Just like canines, horses can smell also, and Ike does have a keen sense of smell, and he has been downtown a lot longer than the other horses, and he kind of picks up on a lot of things that they're learning. He's already aware of.
Right.
We were actually patrolling, and as we were going through some bushes or through the edges of the brush, he actually stopped, and his reaction was, something's going on in there, something's not right.
Right.
I was looking, and through the, I could not see inside the thickness of it, but at that point he kind of whirled, and he is constantly, his attention is drawn right there. As we kind of walk around the other side, there's actually someone in the bushes, and they had seen us and was trying to evade us, or,
Right.
And actually we just kind of went around and stopped him and found out, you know, what was going on. But Ike was actually, he was the one that knew someone was in there prior to us ever knowing.
You know, there are horses that are prey animals, and so they're really used to everything might eat them in the world.
That's correct.
You know,
That's
so
correct.
I guess that's a good way to kind of tap into it when you have that bond with him, and you really realize that he knows there's something wrong whether you do or not. So that's awesome. What other kind of things has Ike done that makes him remarkable for the police unit?
Well, you know, his height, he's extremely tall. He is actually the tallest horse I've ever ridden. Just recently we had a missing person. Someone was kind of distraught about their domestic situation, and I think they were concerned, and the other party was, and they were actually kind of wanting to be missing off. We were concerned about his well-being, and a lot of the officers were searching. We were searching on horseback. Ike's height gives me a great advantage because I can see a lot further than the officers that were searching on the ground.
Right.
I actually did find him and locate him, and we were able to talk to him and get him some treatment, get him some help that he needed.
That's wonderful. You know, I can see where their size would be such a good thing in crowd control and downtown environments and dealing with homeless people and stuff. I mean, and you know, obviously a crook's not going to outrun you.
That's correct. That's correct.
He doesn't stand a chance against those long legs. And is Ike athletic too?
Yes, he is. To be his size, he can move fast.
Right. I bet he can. That kind of goes with the Hanoverian breed.
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice horse. All right, well, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you can see one of the best functions that the mounted unit serves in Raleigh, North Carolina is protecting our most precious assets, our children.
The American Music Jubilee Down Home Christmas Show starts November 8th with all new songs, comedy, and stage design. This show has become more than just a tradition in Eastern North Carolina and has pleased audiences from 8 to 80. Experience this wonderful Christmas production. Watch the cast of the American Music Jubilee sing and play their hearts out for you. The spirit of Christmas will fill the air at the Grand Ole Rudy Theater in Selma, North Carolina. Go online to amjubilee.com and make your reservations or call that famous number, 1-877-THE-RUDY. This is one show you don't want to miss.
As Miss Rodeo Virginia 2012, I had the opportunity to travel the country riding on many different horses and in many different saddles. But nothing compared to coming home and riding in uniquely my world-class saddlery saddle. From its unique dog flower tooling to the custom stirrups made just for me, the saddle fits me and my horses perfectly. So whether I'm out running barrels or in a parade, the saddle is both durable and beautiful. It can get the job done and still look good while doing it. I look forward to riding in my world-class saddlery for many years to come.
Hi, we're joining you this afternoon from the Southern Stock Horse Show in Lumberton, North Carolina at the Southeastern Agricultural Center. We're going to get an opportunity to see youth work in ranch classes, cutting and reining, and all-around excitement. So with us now is Craig Dawes out of Conway, South Carolina, and Craig founded the Southern Stock Horse Association. So can you tell us a little bit about the association and when you started it?
Well, we started association in 2000, and it was really a thing about the AQHA was getting so personalized. Each horse was specialized.
Right.
And I wanted to go back to where you show your own horse. You don't have trainers show it. You get points when you ride your own horse and show your own horse.
Right.
And so we started it with that aspect that the individual would bring their private horse, their baby, and come and show it and do the best they can.
That makes it nice and fun for a family.
It does.
Definitely.
It does. And
Now, what kind of classes do you have in a stock horse show?
We do everything from cutting to ranch cutting, and we do working cow horse. We do trail, ranch horse pleasure, and we have a reining class.
So basically all the things that you would do if you were working on a ranch and living on a ranch for real.
Yes, and our judges are ranch people. The judge today, he ran a ranch for 22 years.
Okay.
So we get judges that have ranch experience, and they look for that type of horse. They look for a horse that you would take out on a ranch.
Right.
That you would go do a day's work with.
Right. Okay. And what are we watching behind us now?
Youth doing working cow horse.
Okay.
And we abbreviate it a little bit. All you have to do is box the cow and then turn it one way on the rail.
Right.
And then the judge blows the whistle.
So the object of this class is to be able to manipulate the cow where you want him to go and not
Yes.
necessarily cut him out of the herd, but what you do with him after you get him.
Exactly.
Okay.
And show your horse is a little cowy.
Right.
And does what you ask.
Very good. And so what kind of prizes do people win when they do these kind of competitions?
During the year, we give away gift bags, which have lotions and little things in them for every class prizes. But then we have year-end awards where we give away this year's saddles and custom stirrups and buckles for every.
Right. So it makes
all
it
the
worth
winners.
competing, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
we hope so. We try to get everybody to come and accumulate their points
Right.
and win something at the end of the year.
And how often do you have shows here in Lumberton?
We have 4 every year.
Okay.
So we have 2 in the spring, sometime April, late May, early June, and then we come back again September and October.
Okay, so is this your final show for the
Yes,
year?
it is.
All right.
November, things seem to wind down.
Right.
The cow horse people are starting to do something else. They've showed all year, and
Yeah.
they're putting their horses up.
The holidays and get ready to breed and all
We
that.
no longer have a November show. We found that it gets smaller and smaller
Right.
as the weather changes.
And how many entries do you have this weekend?
We have about 600 total entries
That's
for
wonderful.
a day and a half. That's not too bad. It keeps
Right.
us busy.
So your show basically is like a Friday night and then all day Saturday?
Yes. And our people, like we have kids here that'll get in 5, 6, 8 classes. You know, a lot of shows, somebody will come and do one class,
Right.
and then they leave, and then somebody else comes and does their reining class. Here, in order to get points, like these kids will ride in every class.
Right. Right. I can see that would be smart when you're already here set up ready to go. Certainly.
And they have a lot of fun. They get to use their horse. There's not many highly trained horses here. These are all personally owned horses that they keep at their house.
Right.
And they come out here and have fun with them.
And if I wanted to start competing with you next year, how would I do that?
By merely coming. We have an entry fee of $50 for a family, 35 individual. That puts you on the mailing list and gets you in the books. We do not have a horse registry. We're open to any horse. We're still looking for our first mule.
All right.
We welcome mules. If anybody out there would like to come show a mule, we would love it.
That would be
we
cool.
welcome any equine.
Okay.
So we're not a breed.
And do you have a website?
Yes, southernstockhorse.com.
Okay.
Also Facebook.
All right.
Get a
Very
lot of
good.
information, a lot of feedback off Facebook. All these kids will load up Facebook after the show.
Yeah, I'm sure with a lot of pictures and bragging about who won this.
They
that,
will,
Yeah.
they will.
That sounds like fun. All right. Well, thank you very much for
Well,
spending
thank
time
you.
with me. I'm excited to watch your show
I
today.
appreciate you coming to Lumberton.
All right. Thank you. With us now is Erin Smith from Conway, South Carolina, and her horse HP. Now, Erin's been doing this for a while now. How long have you been doing stock horse shows?
I've been doing Southern Stock Horse since 2005.
Right. And you also do high school rodeo?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What kind of events do you do?
I show in the cutting, the breakaway, goat tying, barrel racing, and pole bending.
So you're just an all-around cowgirl.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Did you do show horses before you started this?
I did. I did a little bit of English and Western pleasure.
Okay. And what makes you come back to this event to participate in it? What do you like about it?
I've always loved this association, and I love showing ranch horses because it's a lot more fun and just really what I love to do.
Right. So the breakaway rope, and what is that?
You have your calf in a box, and when they turn him loose, you have to rope him, and the rope breaks away from the saddle.
Okay, so you don't have to dally him on your saddle horn. Okay. That's interesting. I think I saw that done in Benson. It looked like an exciting event. And so what are your goals for the future with your horse career?
I plan to go to Missouri Valley College, hopefully, and rodeo, like college rodeo out there.
Right.
And I also want to go work on a ranch somewhere out west.
So do you want to work cattle or become a trainer, or what exactly are you thinking?
Or just a little bit of everything. Just
Okay.
to go have fun with it.
All right. Well, it looks like you've done really well up to now, so we'll be watching for you in the next events. Thank you very much. With us now is David Stocks, and David is the saddle maker and the leathersmith for World Class Saddlery. And we are looking at this gorgeous saddle here that's going to be the High Point Award for the North Carolina Horse Council Extreme Trail Horse Finale that will be at Hunt Horse Complex in Raleigh on November 24th through the 26th. David, tell us a little bit about the saddle.
Well, it's a team roping saddle. We have an ostrich inlaid seat on it. We have basket weed stamping. The saddle itself is 16 1/4 inch seat, and it's on quarter horse bars. It's just a well-built saddle.
And it's all a handmade piece, isn't it?
Correct.
Very nice. And you have the Horse Council's logo stamped?
Nope, not on the saddle.
Okay.
Not on the saddle. We have it on the headstalls and the breast collar for the other classes.
And the headstall and the breast collar are also prizes for this Trail Horse Challenge, along with a set of chinks that we'll show you in just a second. Now tell us where World Class Saddlery is located.
We're located in Hookerton, North Carolina. Our address is 215 Main Street. Just you can stop by anytime that we're there and stuff, and see what goes on in the saddle shop.
So people can get a saddle made pretty much with any colors and design that they want, and you custom fit it to their horses?
Yes, the saddles each are handmade, and they're all custom.
Okay.
So there's no preformed or anything like that. So we fit the horse for the trees. We size the saddle seat for the rider, and so far as the excuse me, as far as the leg length for the stirrup fenders and that stuff. So it's truly a handmade, customized saddle.
And you do all kinds like reining and cutting and barrels and just whatever the person wants?
Whatever kind of discipline that the person is riding in.
Okay. Our guest here is Amelia Wren, and Amelia is in the youth cutting classes here at the show in Lumberton today. And Amelia is going to tell us a little bit about the youth program that the Cutting Horse Association here provides.
Okay, the youth is you can start showing at any age, and you show up until you're 19. And they have senior and junior, and senior starts at age 14. And we show all over, and there's big shows and win scholarship. This is area 18 that we're showing at right now, and they have a big scholarship cutting in January at North Augusta.
And so you have like a national competition for youth too?
Yes, they take in I think it's July down in Fort Worth, Texas. They have a big show, the Summer Spectacular, and that's what they call it for the youth. It's actually called the Derby, and it's 3 weeks. And in one of those weeks, we have a youth cutting, and you will show, and then if you make the finals, you show again at the end of the week. And during that week, they take the top 15 in this country, and they all compete, and they show 3 nights, and they combine your scores, and at the end, whoever wins, I think they win scholarship money.
Tell me a little bit about the class that you were just in.
That was the 2000, and it's a class for people who had not won $2,000, and it was not fresh cattle, so I was very happy with my cows, considering.
Right. Now explain fresh cattle.
Fresh cattle would be cattle that have never been worked. They actually, the trainers had to go in there and settle the cattle. As far as with non-fresh cattle, you don't.
Right.
And fresh cattle normally work a little bit better.
Right, because they're not quite as smart yet, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So.
All right, and so you had a really good score of 75. Tell me about your run.
I had a really good run. I'm really excited. It's actually my high score. And my cattle, I was very happy with my cattle. And second cow I feel like was the best.
Right.
Really let my horse work it. And all 3 of my cattle did actually. So
your horse just did an awesome job. I mean, it really engaged that cow and held it. You looked fabulous out there.
I love my horse. He's carried me many miles.
Right.
He's actually my first horse. We've been to the finals and the scholarship cutting down in Texas.
Right.
He's taken me to the scholarship cutting in Area 18 several times, and Jackson, Mississippi, which is another big show. He took me to the finals in that.
Very
so
good.
I love him. Yes.
All right. Well, it looks like you're in good shape today to win.
Yes.
So thank you for your time. I appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you.
My guest now is Mark Lavender from Brenham, Texas, and Mark is the judge here today. So I'm going to get Mark to tell us a little bit about what you look for when you're judging a cut and show.
It's my job to decide, who was the best, second, da-da-da-da-da. And so we score them accordingly. an average score, depending on where you're at, would be 70, 71, 72.
Right.
So anything above that would be real good.
Okay.
The caliber of horses, the caliber, the cows, you know, how they cooperate with what's going on, has a lot to do with how good your score is going to be. If you're going to win, lose, draw. That showing cutting horses like painting a portrait. You know, so
I can see that
so
actually.
a little here and a little there, and when the buzzer goes off, you got your picture.
Right.
And so I've always kept it in my mind that when I'm showing horses, that I want to present a good picture for the judge. The amount of work you get done. You know, I want them to think that I'm actually trying to win something. And it's, you know, and you're only as good as your horse.
Right. Right.
And, you know, there are some great hands that you put them on a good horse, they're tough to beat.
This episode of Carolina Hoofbeats TV was made possible in part by funding received from the North Carolina Horse Council, a North Carolina nonprofit corporation dedicated to representing and furthering the common interest of the entire equine industry in all 100 counties of North Carolina. Carolina Hoofbeats is brought to you in part by Newcomb Quarter Horses. Newcomb Quarter Horses with over 40 years experience. Find out how we can help you today. NewcombQuarterHorses.net. And by World Class Saddlery. Custom saddles, repairs, custom tack, and personal leather items. Find out more at worldclasssaddlery.com. And also by Carolina Hoofbeats Magazine, a free publication about the horse industry in North Carolina. Catch up on the latest issue at carolinahoofbeats.com.
Saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina Hoofbeats. Sitting high in the saddle, nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound